The wind did not rise slowly. It struck. Palm roofs ripped and flapped like wounded birds. Dust spun into the air. The river swelled, slamming against its banks as if something beneath it was trying to break free. "Close the doors," someone shouted. But no one listened, because in the middle of the chaos, a scream cut through everything. Nariza's scream. Inside the small clay house, her body arched in pain. Sweat soaked her wrapper. Her fingers dug into the mat beneath her as another contraction tore through her. "I can't," she gasped. "I can't do this." "You can," her mother snapped, gripping her shoulders. "You will not die today. Push." Outside, voices gathered. They said it would happen. The sky. Look at the sky. The clouds twisted unnaturally, swallowing the sun. Day turned to a strange dim gray. Not night.
Not day.
Something in between. An old man stumbled forward, his voice shaking. "It's the forbidden sun. Abomination, it has come back." Inside, Nariza cried out again. "Push," her mother ordered. The baby came with a final, desperate scream. Then silence. Too sudden.
Too heavy.
Her mother froze. The midwife leaned in slowly, then jerked back. "No," she whispered. Nariza's chest rose sharply. "What is it? Why are you quiet? Let me see my child." No one moved. "Let me see her." Nariza screamed. Reluctantly, the baby was placed in her arms. And the moment she saw her, the room seemed to shrink. The child's skin was pale, not sickly but different. Her hair, soft and curled, shone white like threads of silver. And her eyes,
blue, bright,
unnatural. Nariza's breath caught. The midwife struggled for words. "Not like us." Outside, the murmuring grew louder. "Is it true? Show us the child." The door burst open. The village priest, Ikanla, stepped in, his staff striking the ground once. "Bring the child forward." Nariza tightened her hold instantly.
"No."
His gaze hardened. "You know the law." "She is my daughter," Nariza said, her voice shaking but firm. "She has done nothing." Ikanla stepped closer, staring down at the baby. His expression darkened. "She was born under the forbidden sun. Look at her. The signs are clear." "She's just a baby." "She is a warning," he replied coldly. "And warnings must be silenced before they become disasters." "No," Nariza cried, pulling the child to her chest. Outside, the villagers began chanting. "It must be done. For the land. For our survival." Nariza's mother stepped forward. "Ikanla, please. There must be another way." "There is no other way," he said. "If she lives, the river will dry, the crops will fail, and fire will consume Adaran." Nariza shook her head violently. "You don't know that. You're afraid. And fear keeps people alive," he snapped. He extended his hand. "Give me the child." Nariza's grip tightened. Her eyes burned with tears.
"No."
The room went still. "You would risk the entire village?" Ikanla asked quietly. "I would save my child," she replied. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes, then vanished. "Then you have until sunrise," he said. "After that, we take her by force." He turned and walked out. The villagers followed, their whispers trailing behind him like shadows. The door closed. Silence. Nariza looked down at her daughter, her hands trembling. "I won't let them take you," she whispered. "Do you hear me? I won't." Her mother knelt beside her. "There is only one chance." Nariza looked up. "The river," her mother said softly. Nariza's heart pounded. "The river? It is older than this village. Older than their laws. If anything can protect her, it is the water." Nariza stared at her child. The baby blinked slowly, calm as if she understood. "I'll lose her," Nariza whispered. "You'll save her," her mother corrected. That night, while the village slept uneasily, Nariza moved. She wrapped the baby carefully, her hands steady despite the fear clawing at her chest. Each step toward the river felt heavier than the last. The wind had died. The silence was worse. When she reached the riverbank, she stopped. The water was restless, dark under the faint light of the hidden moon. "This is madness," she whispered. Her mother placed a small carved basket on the ground. It's hope. Neriza hesitated. Then she knelt. I don't know who watches over this river, she said, her voice breaking. But if you are there, if you can hear me, she placed the baby gently into the basket.
Take her.
Protect her. Give her a life. I cannot. Tears fell freely now. I'm sorry, she whispered to the child. Forgive me. The baby made a soft sound, reaching out tiny fingers. Neriza almost pulled her back. Almost. But then she closed her eyes and pushed the basket into the water. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the river stilled.
Completely.
The ripples vanished. The current softened. The basket did not drift wildly. It moved smoothly, as if guided. Neriza's breath caught. A faint glow began to form beneath the surface.
Soft. Blue.
Alive. What? Her mother whispered. The water shimmered. And for a brief second, something moved beneath it. Vast, silent, watching. The glow rose, wrapping around the basket. The baby did not cry. Instead, she stared upward, calm, unafraid. Neriza dropped to her knees. She's not alone, she whispered. The basket drifted farther away, the glow following it like a promise, until it disappeared into the darkness. Neriza stayed there long after it was gone, because a mother always knows. That was not the end. It was the beginning. If this story is already pulling you in, don't forget to like and subscribe. You're going to want to see what this child becomes. Because the river had made a choice that night, and Aderin would pay for it. Morning did not bring peace to Aderin. It brought suspicion. Before the first rooster crowed, people were already gathering outside Neriza's house. She hid the child. One woman whispered. I knew it, another replied. That girl always had a stubborn spirit. The door was pushed open. Ikamla stepped inside again, slower this time, as if he already knew what he would find. The mat was empty. No baby. No sound. Just Neriza sitting in silence, her eyes hollow, her hands resting on her lap as though something had been taken from them forever. Where's the child? Ikamla asked. Neriza looked up, her voice quiet. Gone. A murmur spread outside instantly. Gone. She did it. Ikamla's grip tightened around his staff. You think you can deceive the spirits? I did not deceive anyone, Neriza replied. I refuse to kill my daughter. You have doomed us all. Or maybe, she said, her voice gaining strength, you have been wrong all along. The room went still. Ikamla leaned closer. When the river dries and the earth cracks, remember this moment. He turned sharply and walked out. Outside, the villagers began to panic. What have you done, Neriza? We will all suffer. But she didn't answer them again. Because deep down she believed the river had answered her. Knee-deep in the water, washing clothes. Mareo. Her movements were slow, almost mechanical. Her face carried the quiet weight of someone who had waited too long for something that never came. A child. She paused suddenly. Did you hear that? She muttered to herself. A soft sound.
Faint.
Like a baby's breath. Her eyes narrowed. The basket bumped lightly against a rock. Mareo froze. No, she whispered, stepping forward. That's not possible. She reached out, hands trembling, and pulled it closer. The moment she looked inside, her breath caught. The baby stared back at her. Blue eyes. Bright and clear. Mareo stumbled backward slightly. What kind of child? The baby made a soft cooing sound. No fear. No distress.
Just calm.
Mareo's chest tightened. You were left here? She whispered. Who would abandon you like this? Her gaze scanned the river, as if expecting someone to jump out and claim the child. No one came. Only the quiet flow of water. She looked back at the baby. Then she noticed it. A faint shimmer around her neck. A small stone glowing softly beneath the cloth. Mareo's breath slowed. You're special, she murmured. Silence. Then something shifted in her expression. Loneliness. Longing. Decision. She lifted the child carefully. Well, she said softly, if no one wants you. Her voice broke slightly. Then you are mine. The baby blinked slowly, as if accepting. Mareo held her closer. I will call you Luma, she said, because you came from light. And just like that, the river gave the child a new life. Years passed, but not gently. Luma grew quickly, and from the beginning, she was different. Come here, Moreo called one afternoon. Luma ran across the yard barefoot. But when she stopped, Moreo frowned. Why are your feet clean? She asked. Luma looked down. The ground was wet and muddy.
But her feet were spotless.
I don't know, Luma said honestly. Moreo's eyes lingered. Later that day, Luma went to fetch water from the river. Two girls watched from a distance. That's her, one whispered. The strange one. Luma knelt by the water, dipping her clay pot in. The river, murky and brown from recent rains, suddenly cleared around her hands. The water turned still, clear enough to see the bottom. Luma blinked. It wasn't like this before. She filled her pot anyway. Behind her, the girls gasped. Did you see that? She's not normal. Luma heard them. She always heard them, but she said nothing. That night, rain fell. Not across the village. Only over Moreo's house. Luma stood outside, staring up as drops fell gently around her. She stretched out her hand. The rain followed, moved with her. Why does it always do that? She whispered. Behind her, Moreo watched from the doorway, her expression unreadable. At first, she had felt lucky, chosen.
But now
Something else was growing. Something darker. A year later, everything changed. Moreo gave birth. A baby girl.
healthy, strong.
Normal. Her name was Kesai. From that day, the balance shifted. Luma, Moreo snapped one morning. Why are you standing there? Sweep the floor. I just finished. Then do it again. Kesai, now a toddler, sat nearby, laughing as Luma rushed to obey. Faster, Moreo added sharply. Luma lowered her head. Yes, Mama. But the word no longer felt the same. As they grew older, the difference became clearer. Kesai wore bright wrappers. Luma wore old ones. Kesai ate first. Luma waited. Kesai gave orders. Luma followed them. Why does she get everything? Kesai asked one day. Because she is mine, Moreo replied. Luma paused in her work. And me? She asked quietly. Moreo didn't hesitate. You were found. The words hit harder than any slap. Luma swallowed. Yes, Mama.
But something inside her shifted that day.
Not anger. Not yet. But awareness. One afternoon, as Luma carried water back from the river, she spoke softly to herself. Why am I like this? She asked. The water in her pot rippled gently. No wind. No movement. Just a quiet response. Luma stopped walking. Are you answering me? She whispered. The surface stilled, then returned to normal. Luma's heart raced. I'm not crazy, she muttered quickly. I'm not, but deep down she knew. Something was watching. Something had always been watching. Years later, a loud drum echoed through Adaran. Villagers gathered quickly in the square. What's happening? The king's messenger. A tall man stepped forward. Hear this, he announced. Prince Tadeo will choose a bride. Excited murmurs spread instantly.
How?
Who will he pick? The messenger raised his hand. Each maiden will bring water from the river. The prince will drink. The purest will reveal his queen.
Gasps. Excitement. Hope.
Kesai's eyes lit up. Mama, this is my chance. Moreo smiled slowly. Yes, she said. It is. Her gaze shifted. Toward Luma, standing quietly at the back. Yes, Moreo repeated softly. It is. Moreo did not wait for the crowd to disperse before she turned sharply. Luma. Luma stepped forward immediately. Yes, Mama. You heard what the messenger said. Yes. Moreo's eyes narrowed slightly. Good. Then you know what you will do. Luma hesitated. I will fetch water. Not just water, Moreo snapped. The cleanest water. The kind only you seem to find. Kesai folded her arms, smirking. Of course she will. That's all she's good for. Luma looked at her, then back at Moreo. And you will present it? Moreo stepped closer.
No.
Case I will. Silence. The words hung in the air, heavy. Luma's fingers tightened around the clay pot she was holding. But it will be my water, she said quietly. And Moreo replied flatly. Luma swallowed. Nothing. Exactly, Moreo said. You will go to the river at dawn. You will bring back the purest water you can. And you will hand it to Kasai. Do you understand? Yes, Mama. Kasai laughed lightly. Make sure it's perfect. I don't want to lose because of you. Luma nodded once. It will be. She turned and walked away before either of them could see the flicker in her eyes. Not anger. Something deeper. A question she had never dared to ask. Why not me? At dawn, the village was quiet. Luma walked alone toward the river, the clay pot resting against her hip. The air felt different. Still. As if waiting. When she reached the water, she stopped. For a moment, she said nothing. Then she knelt slowly. I know you can hear me, she whispered. The surface trembled slightly. Her breath caught. I don't understand what I am, she continued. Or why you listen to me. The water rippled again. Gently this time. I have never asked for anything, Luma said. Not once. Her voice softened. But today, I will. She lowered the pot into the river. Help me. The moment the clay touched the water, everything changed. The current stilled. The murky brown faded, replaced by a deep, glowing clarity. Light shimmered beneath the surface, soft and blue. Luma stared. Thank you, she whispered. As she lifted the pot, a faint glow followed the water inside it. Not obvious, but alive. Watching. Luma stood slowly. For the first time, she didn't feel small. She turned and began walking back to the village. By midday, the square was full. Girls stood in lines, each holding their pots carefully. Whispers moved through the crowd. Look at them. So many. Who will he choose? Kasai stood proudly among them, her chin raised. Moreo adjusted her wrapper, smiling with quiet confidence. Stand straight, she murmured. Today changes everything. Luma stood at the edge of the crowd, watching, holding nothing. Prince Tadeo stepped forward, calm but observant. His gaze moved across the girls, then to the pots. Begin, the king ordered. One by one, the maidens stepped forward. Each presented her water. The prince drank,
Paused.
then moved on.
No.
Not this one. Next. The tension grew. Kasai stepped forward. Moreo's smile widened. This is it, she whispered. Kasai held out the pot. Your Highness, she said sweetly. Prince Tadeo took it. The moment the water touched his lips, his expression shifted. He frowned slightly. Not in disgust. In confusion. He drank again. Then lowered the pot slowly. The crowd leaned in. Well, the king asked. Tadeo didn't answer immediately. His eyes moved. Past Kasai. Past the line of girls. Until they stopped. On Luma. Standing quietly at the edge. Whose water is this? He asked. Kasai's smile faltered. Mine, of course. Tadeo shook his head.
No.
The word cut through the air. Moreo's face tightened. What do you mean? She demanded. Tadeo stepped forward, his gaze never leaving Luma. This water, it answers to someone else. A murmur spread through the crowd. What is he saying? That makes no sense. Tadeo stopped in front of Luma. You, he said. Step forward. Luma froze. I have no pot. I didn't ask for a pot, he replied calmly. I asked for you. Slowly, she stepped forward. The entire village watched. Tadeo held out the pot again. Touch it. Luma hesitated, then placed her fingers lightly against the clay. The reaction was instant. The water inside shimmered brightly, the glow no longer hidden. Gasps erupted. It's her. She's the one. Kasai stepped back, shaking her head. No, that's not. Moreo grabbed her arm. Be quiet. Tadeo turned to the king. I have made my choice. The king nodded. Speak it. Tadeo looked at Luma. You are the one. Silence. Then chaos. That girl? The found child. This is wrong. Moreo stepped forward quickly. Your Highness, There must be a mistake. There is no mistake, Tadeo said firmly. He turned back to Luma. What is your name? Luma, she replied softly. Well, Luma, he said, you will be queen. The words felt unreal. Luma blinked. I don't understand. You will, he said. But behind them, something darker was already forming. Moreo's eyes burned. Keisai's hands trembled. Everything they had planned,
Gone.
taken, by the girl they had tried to erase. That night, the house was silent. Too silent. Luma stepped inside carefully. Mama, she called softly. No answer. Keisai. Nothing. She frowned slightly. Something felt wrong. Then, a hand grabbed her from behind. She gasped. Don't scream. Moreo's voice hissed into her ear. Keisai stepped forward, her expression twisted. You think you can take my place? She snapped. I didn't take anything. Liar. Keisai shouted. Moreo tightened her grip. We gave you everything. You gave me nothing, Luma said quietly. The words hit harder than she expected. Moreo froze for a second. Then her face hardened. Then you won't need this either. She reached for Luma's neck. The glowing charm. Luma's eyes widened. No, don't. Too late. The necklace snapped. The glow vanished instantly. Luma gasped, her body weakening. What did you? End it, Moreo said coldly. They dragged her outside. Toward the cliffs. The ocean roared below. No, please, Luma whispered. Don't do this. Keisai hesitated for a brief moment. But Moreo didn't. She should have drowned the day we found her, she said. Then, they pushed. Luma fell. The wind rushed past her. The water rose fast. And then, silence. Because the ocean did not reject her. It opened. The fall should have killed her. Luma hit the water hard, but instead of pain, there was stillness. The roar of the ocean vanished the moment she sank beneath the surface. No choking. No struggle. Just a deep, endless quiet. Her eyes fluttered open. Light surrounded her. Not sunlight. Something softer. Bluer.
Alive.
Her body did not sink further. It hovered, suspended, as if the water itself refused to let her go. I knew you would return. The voice did not come from one direction. It came from everywhere. Luma's breath caught. Who is that? The light shifted. Then it formed. A figure, vast, fluid, not entirely human. Its shape moved like waves folding into themselves. Its eyes glowed with a depth Luma could not fully understand. I am Nerethus, the presence said, keeper of the deep waters. Luma stared, her heart pounding. You're real. I have always been real, Nerethus replied. You are the one who has been hidden. Luma shook her head slowly. I don't understand why me. The water around her pulsed gently. Because you were given to me, Nerethus said. On a night when fear ruled men, your mother chose trust instead. Images flashed through Luma's mind, her mother at the river, tears falling, the basket drifting. You saw, Luma whispered. I did more than see, Nerethus said. I accepted. Luma's voice trembled. Then why did you let them take everything from me? The water darkened slightly. They took what they believed gave you power, Nerethus said. But they do not understand. The river does not live in stones or ornaments. The glow intensified. It lives in you. Luma's eyes widened. No, she whispered. I'm just. You are not just anything. Nerethus cut in firmer now. You have bent water without knowing. You have called rain without asking. You have been protected without seeing. Luma's chest tightened. Then why didn't you stop them? Silence. Then quieter. Because you needed to see the truth of the world above, Nerethus said. Power without understanding is fragile. Luma looked away. They tried to kill me, she said. Yes. They hated me. Yes. Her voice cracked. And you expect me to go back? The water around her shifted, no longer soft, stronger now. I expect nothing, Nerethus said. The choice is yours. Luma closed her eyes. Above the surface, faces flashed in her mind. Moreo,
Kasai.
The villagers, the whispers, the cruelty. Then, the prince, the moment he chose her. Her mother, the one she never knew. Her fists clenched. "If I leave," she said slowly, "what happens to them?" The answer came without hesitation. "They will face the consequences of what they have done." Above, Aderin was already breaking. The river that once fed the land had turned thick and dark. Farmers stood in their fields, staring at cracked soil. "This isn't normal. It just stopped growing overnight." A woman screamed near the riverbank. "The water, it's not right." Men rushed forward, scooping it with their hands, then dropping it immediately. "It smells like rot." The sky grew hotter by the hour. No clouds, no wind, only heat pressing down like a warning. At the palace, Prince Tadeo stood before the king. "This is not coincidence," he said firmly. The king's face was tense. "You believe it is because of the girl." "I know it is," Tadeo replied. "She was chosen, and then she disappeared." The king exhaled slowly. "Ikamla warned us." "Ikamla was wrong," Tadeo cut in. "He always has been." Before the king could respond, a guard rushed in. "My lord, what is it?" "The river, it's turning black." The king stood immediately. "Gather the elders," he ordered.
Now.
Back beneath the water, Luma stood in silence. "You said I have a choice," she said. "Yes. If I return, I don't return as the same person." Nerithus watched her. "I won't be their victim again," Luma continued. "I won't bow to their fear." The water pulsed once. "Then do not," Nerithus said. Luma looked up, determination building in her eyes. "And the law?" she asked. "The one that started all of this?" "It will remain," Nerithus replied, "unless you change it." Luma took a slow breath. "Then, that's where it ends." The glow around her intensified, wrapping around her like a second skin. "You carry the river," Nerithus said. "But understand this." The voice deepened. "Balance must be restored. Not just for you, but for all." Luma nodded. "I understand." And for the first time, she truly did. Days passed, and Aderin grew weaker. Children cried from thirst. Crops shriveled. The once proud river became something people feared to touch. In the village square, the king stood before his people. "We must find her," he said. "And if we don't," someone shouted. The king hesitated. No answer, because they all knew this was only the beginning. At the edge of the village, near the riverbank, a figure appeared. Quietly, barefoot. The water shifted the moment she stepped near it.
Clear.
Alive again. A child pointed first. "Look." Heads turned. Gasps followed. "It's her. She's alive." Luma stepped forward slowly. No fear in her eyes now. No hesitation. Only purpose. The crowd parted without being told. Tadeo stepped forward, disbelief written across his face. "You came back," he said. Luma met his gaze. "I was never gone," she replied. The king approached cautiously. "You understand what is happening to our land?" "Yes," Luma said. "And you can stop it?" Luma didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked around. At the people. At the same faces that once demanded her death. Then back at the king. "I can," she said. Hope flickered across the crowd. "But I won't," she added. The hope shattered. Murmurs rose instantly. "What? She can't be serious." The king's voice tightened. "Explain yourself." Luma stepped closer. "You created this," she said calmly. "Not me." The words landed heavily. "You made laws out of fear," she continued. "You chose death over understanding." Ikamla stepped forward from the crowd. "This is madness," he said. "You speak against the order that has protected us for generations." "It has protected nothing," Luma cut in sharply. Silence. Even Ikamla stopped. "It has only hidden your fear behind sacrifice," she said. Her voice didn't rise, but it carried. "You want your land healed?" she asked. "Yes," voices shouted. "Then the law ends," Luma said. "No hesitation. No compromise. No more killing children because of the sky," she continued. No more fear deciding who lives and who dies. The king's jaw tightened. That is not a small demand, he said. It is the only demand, Luma replied. The crowd grew restless. She's asking too much. But we're dying. What choice do we have? Tadeo stepped forward. I support her, he said. All eyes turned to him. The king looked at his son. You would side against your own people? I'm siding with truth, Tadeo replied. Something we should have done long ago. Silence stretched. Then, the king exhaled slowly. The law is abolished.
Gasps.
Ikama stepped back as if struck. You cannot. I just did, the king said firmly. He turned to Luma. It is done. Luma held his gaze for a moment, then nodded once. Good. She turned toward the river. The water was still dark, angry, alive with something deeper. She's really going to do it, someone whispered. Luma stepped forward, then into the water. The moment it touched her, the river surged. Waves rose violently. The ground trembled. A roar echoed, not from the sky, but from the water itself. Nereithis, awake, watching. Luma stood firm as the waves rose around her. I'm here, she said. The water lashed higher, demanding, testing. Luma didn't move. I'm here to restore what was broken, she continued. The waves paused. Then slowly, they began to calm. The darkness faded. The water cleared. The river breathed again. Behind her, the villagers watched in stunned silence. Because in that moment, they understood something they had never truly believed before. The child they tried to destroy was the only one who could save them. And this time, they would not forget.